Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures morning leap session. My name is Doug McKay. Each morning we come together in these live sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. This is the subscription room, so if you're interested in checking out, my contact information is quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. You can get a hold of me at Skype at Doug_McKay. I'll be the one from Windsor, Ontario, Canada. This isn't a commercial venture, so there isn't any website or blog. It's just this live go-to that we do during the morning, and then we do live trading and analysis during the course of the day. Before we get going, please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the news. No news at 8:30 this morning. We do have Tarullo and Bullard are both speaking, one at 9:15 Eastern, one at 9:35 right after the market opens, so just be careful. These boys will probably be talking when the market opens. And then 10 o'clock we've got JOLTS, job openings, wholesale inventories, and then later this afternoon we've got the 10-year bond, and that's about the scheduled news for the day. We should get the announcement today that the new Prime Minister is in place. Cameron said he wanted to have everything completed by the end of the day today, so we do have a new Prime Minister coming in Britain due to the Brexit fiasco. Let's just start with our basics and go to our macro view of the trend. You can see that I use a candlestick chart with the 9 EMA and a 20 SMA, looking for slope and separation and where the trend is being violated or continuing. You can see we have a beautiful trend, challenged it at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016, but since then we've taken it back and we've made a huge move after falling off down to 1999 and hitting the circuit breaker on the Brexit, and then rallying 141 points, and it's been a basically straight up ride. So the trend is in continuation on the monthly. Going to the weekly, same thing. You've got slope and separation. We do have a bit of a technical gap. We've moved quite far on the weekly. A move back to close the gap on the weekly will take us back down to about 2091 to test that 9 EMA, but very strong trend up so far. On the daily, same thing. We've got good slope and separation, but we do have a technical gap. That gap is closed in around the 2104, probably more like 2106.50 or 6 1/4. Going to the intraday, same thing, very strong, good slope, good separation. Price is actually paralleling this nicely. A move back to the 9 will take us back into the 2131.32 level on the 4-hour. Going down to the 1-hour, same thing. We're getting some sideways consolidation on the 1-hour, going sideways to close this gap. Gap close would be about 2137.75, 2138 likely. Going to the 30-minute, we had that pop up and then sideways and closed this gap through time rather than price. Very strong move overnight. Same thing with the 15-minute. We closed the gap through time rather than through price, and we are losing some slope, coming down and testing the 9 and the 20, coming to a decision point here on the 15-minute, which is going to be basically in around this 2140. And then going to the 5-minute, you can see we've been, since we made the move up, had a FUBAR Mr. Sneaky, came down, closed the tech gap, and then basically we've been chopping and going sideways, so consolidation. Possible head and shoulder pattern on the 5-minute with the neckline somewhere in around 39. Let's just take a look what the measurement would be on a pullback. I'm going to measure to here, get a more conservative measurement. Primary is 2138, and extended is 2137.25. So right back to a couple of those tech gap closes on the larger time frame. Okay, so let's take a look at the structure. I mean, there's not a lot of structure to look at, but let's look at it. You can see that we broke out of this balance, accepted price here in around the 2087. Last price that they accepted before this gap up again. Come on. Was 2087. Sorry, the 2-day and the 6-day is 2087. This is a key support level for us now, and the major target below on pullbacks into this balance zone that we just broke out of. But here we are. We've had another 2 gaps. This could be an exhaustive gap. We don't know that for sure, but we've already gapped up here and here, and this is the 3rd one, so usually that is an exhaustive gap. We've got a couple CHVNs, but they're not really strong because they're only 1 day old, so we really have to go back to the profile from yesterday, which was a double distribution day, and the overnight, which was a quad distribution overnight. But it's pretty thin on the profile. We will come back and fill this in. It's just how far can they go right now on the upward move. We do have a measured move, zipper measured move I was looking at this morning. Here's the impulse wave, then the consolidation, the zipper, and if we break out to the upside, the target, the main target is 2145.50 with the 2148.25 as a possibility extended target. If they break below this, then look for them to come back down into that 38.37.25 level to find some balance and possibly move up from there. There's a little LVN from overnight at 38.50. I'm going to be using that as a trade level. Below it, we've got the HVN at 37 and a move down to the overnight value down at 35.50. 34 to 32 is going to be somewhere where I'm going to be looking at my key line in the sand. I haven't chosen it for the day yet. I was using 28.75 yesterday. It might still be that, but let's just start taking a look at this. So let's take a look at the overnight. You can see that overnight we've basically had a bit of a trend overnight. They went down to that 28.70 or 28.50, and then they just chopped around this until just before the European Open, and then they rallied it to 38.25, put a new all-time high in, pulled back to the mid, and then got the continuation wave up into 41, and then we chopped around here until we got the VPOC shift, and we've got a lot of volume going off up here at the 2140.50. So we do have a new all-time high at 2141.75. I'm sorry, yeah, 41.75. So that is our new all-time high, but it's been put in the Globex. It'll need to be put in the RTH. So I am looking for a push into this 41.75 at some point in time today. Our all-time RTH high is the high from yesterday at 2136.75. So let's put our numbers in here. We have our overnight high in at our all-time high at 41.75. So our overnight high and our all-time high is there, not likely going to hold. And we could even go up and put a new higher high in the Globex, as we do have Bullard speaking before the RTH Open. Our overnight low is down at 21.2850. And we do have a couple distribution zones, but the main one to watch is going to be this one right here at 38.50. And this one right here at basically 33 and a quarter down to 32.75. So I'm going to use 32.75. And that's about all the information that I'm going to need. Okay, move this over, move this larger, not that it's going to give us a lot of guidance. We do have a CLVN, but it's pretty thin for a large area at 26.50. It's near the low, so it's not really, it is a little bit of an LVN from yesterday, but I really think that it's pretty wide and thin right here. I'd be using the 25 and a quarter. That's the, if you look at this, that is the range low and the range high between yesterday and Friday. We had a double distribution day yesterday, and whoops, and the double distribution was at 32 and a quarter, so that's going to move this 32.75 down and make it 32 and a quarter. So it's a range of 32.75 on the high side and 32 and a quarter on the low side. And then below that you have the close, the naked close at 30.50 with the HVN and the value area low from yesterday, all right there between the 30.50 and the 29.75. So that's going to be a trade area and a target destination for us. Remember, trade areas are targets as well. And then the overnight low just below it at 28.50, and then the range low. And then once we get below the range low, we've got the 21.22 naked VPOC from Friday, and the naked close at 21.1975, the 21.1775, and all these levels below us all remain the same. Our daily ATR is running at 32.21, so off of the current Globex high of 21.4175. Our daily downside ATR target is down here at 21.0950, so we do have range capabilities to make it all the way back down into the lower 2100s. Not saying it's going to happen, but we have range capabilities. On the upside, off of the 21.2850, we have a daily upside ATR target of 21.6075. So we do have range extension and new all-time highs capable on the day. And then our weekly ATR is running at 55.33 for the 20-period weekly. That gives us, off of our weekly low of 21.20 put in on Sunday night, a range capable for the week up to 21.75.50. And then on the downside, sure enough, that weekly downside ATR target is right at that key level I was talking about down here, which is the 86.50, which is right here, just below the microcomposite VPOC and the last price accepted before this breakout. So that is a major target for us down here, and it's within our weekly downside ATR range right now. Of course, if we go and make up new highs, that's going to get move up a bit, but it is within our range this week. To the upside, we got the value area high from yesterday at 34.75 and the range at 36.75. I'm not using 36.75 as a key level. I'm going to use the 38.50 because I think if we get below it, we're likely to come down to the 34 and test the value area. I don't think this is going to offer a lot of support for us. On the upside, there's really nothing to guide us. We do have that zipper measured move at 45.50. And 48.25. I should label this properly. This is an extended. All right, and there's really not a lot to guide us, above. So I really don't have any trade levels up there. Basically, we've got to look at what our targets are, and basically, if we hold above the 38.50, you just want to stay long and see how high they take it. Very dangerous to try to short up here right now. You really have to wait to get below the 21.38.50 before you start looking to short. That is, of course, if you don't get a setup on a regular trading setup on a smaller time frame. Hypotheses. My main hypothesis today is an open auction, out of range, go in, make a new all-time high in the RTH. We are going to make one regardless if we open up above the 36.75, but I expect that the all-time high and the overnight high is taken out, and we make a move to new highs. And then I'm looking at failure somewhere up here in the 45.50 to 48.25, and then rolling over and coming down and coming into yesterday and testing both sides of the distribution zones and chopping in this 34 area down to the 28. Maybe a late day probe down into the 22.25. So my main hypothesis is an open auction out of range or an open test drive, move, see initiative buyers on the open, then come up and have failure somewhere up here. I don't know where because I got nothing to lean against, and then rotate back down, chop in the 34 to 36 area, and then come down into value from yesterday and test both HVNs from the double distribution. So that's my hypo 1. Hypo 2 is an open auction, out of range, a move down into range, possibly into value, and somewhere between the 33.75 and the 21.30, 21.95, maybe even the 28.50. But we're going to take out the overnight high most likely. But if we leave that overnight high alone and come down, then I'd be targeting the 28.50. But somewhere down here to find buyers, and then to slowly, chop up and probably chop between the 34 and the 41 most of the day as we start maturing the auction and looking for price acceptance up here. So hypo 2 is a open auction out of range, a move down, chop in the 34 to 36, then push down, find responsive buyers somewhere near the value area low or the overnight low, and then rotate back up through and chop around in this area between 34 and 41, maybe 45, make a late day probe up into that 45.50. So that's hypo 2. Hypo 3 is an open auction out of range, move down, chop in the 34 to 36, and then push lower, come down through value, chop near the value area low and the overnight low, and then fail and come down into these levels down here between 22 and the 0950, which is our daily ATR downside target. So basically a trend day pullback. Just fail, come down, chop, fail, come down, chop, and just work our way back down through this thin area of the composite and come and fill that gap. Hypo 4 is the opposite, another gap and go day, open auction or an open drive or an open test drive, come down, fail to get back inside of the prior day, and then just continue up and move up into the 2148, 2150, possibly up into the 2160s. We have range capabilities up to that level. This is going to be tough trading again today, gang. It's always tough to trade all-time new highs where you've got no structure to guide you. So just don't get stubborn on a position. If it goes against you, let it go quick and just look for another opportunity. And just be careful on the short side. If you see buyers stepping in on the dips and it's strong, this has got room to go higher based on the daily and the weekly. So that's going to complete our pre-market session. Just taking a look at where we are. We do have the zippered measured move, and we are holding pretty strong in the 2140s. So I'm thinking we're probably going to see a new high put in probably before the RTH Open. All depends on what Tarillo says. He's going to be talking in about 5 minutes. Keltner center line's at 38, so that's right at our key trade area. And the move down below that is going to be down into 32. And by the way, I did say I was going to put a key level in, and you know what? It is going to be that that 2850. It's just I thought I could move it up to 32, but it's really going to be down here. So this is going to be our overnight low and key line in sand. So I think if we get below that 2850, if we get below that 2850, then we could see some weakness and the bears get aggressive down into these lower 20s and upper teens. All right, that's it. I'm not going to do gold today because I got some other stuff I got to get done this morning. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.